Welcome back. We are so excited to have our good friend Wendell Graham, the owner of Slight Edge Consulting. Wendell is a master marketer and he is a sultan of sales. And he is also my good friend. So I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself so you can understand what type of person we're talking about today. Wendell?
This is Wendell Graham, and I come to you all the way from the beautiful city of Mobile, Alabama. I am the owner of Slight Edge Consulting that's situated in Huntsville, Alabama and Mobile, Alabama, and we help you gain the slight edge. I'm also the owner of Advantage Construction, where we do home remodeling and we do construction work. I am excited. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an empowerment coach. I'm a sales trainer, and I just overall love helping people. I'm excited to be here today, Saucony Prince. I just can't wait to get this show started to share this valuable information with all of your listeners across the country and literally across the globe. So thank you so much for inviting me to be your guest speaker on today's show.
Well, man, you are more than welcome, and thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Well, I know our theme for this show is getting up from a fall. So yes, what can you speak towards that end as far as getting up from a fall?
Well, that's a great question. Let me put my glasses on because I really want to zero in. I don't want to get a reflection from the camera light, but let me say this, that is an excellent subject for such a time as this. Getting up from a fall. You know, if you just did a little bit of research about a literal fall, I'm talking about literally falling down. One of the first things that happens before you fall is that, listen, Saucony, listen, listeners, you lose your balance. Wait a minute. You lose your balance before you fall. That means that prior to falling, that balance is there. And then you lose your balance, and then you fall. Now, how do you relate that to life? In life, you have to be balanced. You have to have a balance in everything that you do. You know, they say work hard, but play harder. I might have it in the wrong order, but sometimes in life, you have to make sure that you have everything in perspective and make sure that you're balanced. So the first thing is that you lose your balance before you fall. Another thing that you do when you actually fall is many of us, and for many of our senior citizens, we panic. Once we fall, the worst thing that you could do is to panic. Once you panic, you have not had the proper time to make an assessment to determine where the injuries might potentially be. Let me say that again. Let me just re-emphasize that. And Saucony, hopefully I'm not going too long, and I want you to get another question in there. But this is so powerful. We panic. We start moving around. We try to act like we have springs in our hinder parts to just jump up. But something may be torn. Something may be ripped. We may have broken a bone. We may have done some internal damages as a result of falling. And what happens is we panic. And we can do so much damage, so much more damage in trying to move too quickly after a fall has occurred. So the first thing is that we lose our balance. The second thing is don't panic. We have to remain calm because there's some other steps that we must take in order to safely get up from a fall. And I know the day that we live in right now, with everything that's going on, we got Corona, we have the economy, we have stimulus checks going on, and it's easy for us to get off balance and to start panicking. Many of us feel like because we have been isolated and we have been taken off of our jobs and we have been allowed to work from home, we've lost some things. We've lost social etiquette. We've lost our communication skills to a certain degree. And so we don't know what all of the things that we've lost, but we do know that we're in a situation where some adjustments are going to have to be made in order for us to stand back up from this fall, from this economic fall, from this health crisis fall. All of the things that's taken place, we have to take the proper precautions in order to get up safely. So number one, we said that we lose our balance is the first thing. Number two, don't panic. Make an assessment. Determine what's going on. The third thing that's be done after a literal fall is that we're told is that we are to roll over to the side. Now, I thought that was interesting because it didn't say just jump up. It says roll over to one side. Right. Well, sometimes in life, in order to get back up on your feet, you have to roll over. What does that mean, Wendell Graham? I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to enlighten you on what rollover means to me. Rolling over to one side means that you may have to roll over to the side that's most comfortable to you, most convenient to you. You may be rolling over to get to grab onto a chair to be able to lift yourself up. Rolling over simply means that you're taking it slow. You've already fallen. You don't know what the damages are. And now you're rolling over to determine how you're going to get up. You may be rolling over to a friend. You may be rolling over to a colleague. You may be rolling over to a church member, a pastor, a preacher, teacher, like somebody. You're rolling over to gain the assistance from somebody else in order to be able to help you get up. Now, I want to ask you a question out there in listening land. How many of us in this day and age right now need somebody that we can lean on, need somebody that we can talk to, need somebody that we can console or that we can consult with about where we should be going in our life after this fall that we've experienced thus far? How many of us, I'll raise my hand, I'll raise both hands, and if you can't see it, but I got both my feet raised, but how many of us need somebody where we can roll over and tell them all of our troubles? And they're not going to judge us. They're not going to condemn us. They're not going to criticize us. They're just going to be able to support us in helping us get back up on our feet after the fall. I will confess, if you're afraid, I'll do it. Sometimes I need someone to roll over and tell my secrets to, and tell my fears to, and tell my apprehensions to. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is vital that you take the proper steps after you have fallen. You've lost your balance, right? Now you didn't panic. And now you're getting ready to roll over and try to support yourself. Well, I'll let you in on the next secret. The next secret was finding a chair, finding something that can support your body weight in getting up. After you've fallen, most times you've injured yourself. There's something that's not the same after the fall. Right. There's something that's changed biologically in your body. You see, the adrenaline in the body starts to pump. And when adrenaline in your body pumps, it also blocks some of the nerves, some of the neurotransmitters, and it causes the body to not feel the pain. Some of us are numb, and we don't feel the things that we felt before. We're numb. We may have fallen in a relationship. Listen at this now. You've fallen in a relationship and you said, you know what, I'm done with men. I'm done with women. I'm just going, me and my dog, we're going to ride this thing out. You become numb to life. You may have fallen on a job. You know what? They laid me off after 30 years, 20 years. They laid me off. And I was the best employee on the job. Well, if you've been there 30 years, you might need to retire. But you've been there a long, and they laid you off and you become numb to it. You say, you know what? I'm not going to try anymore. Maybe you're a speaker, an author, or an entrepreneur, and you've fallen and you weren't as successful as you hoped. I'm going to let you know a little secret there too. You're going to fail many times. You're looking at the #1 champion of fails, but you're going to fail. And every time that you fail and every time that you fall, it causes you to become strong. Okay, so Connie, let me move right along. I feel my time getting away from me. The fourth thing, sometimes you break a bone. Yes. Sometimes you break a bone. It's unavoidable in a lot of instances when you fall. You're not in control of what you fall on and in the condition of your bones. Right. And so when you fall and you break a bone, the bone has to be mended. I remember long years ago, I was playing with my children. We were running around the house, and I was athletic, poetic, energetic. I had good credit, but we were running around the house in Coney, and my toe hit the sofa. I was chasing my daughter. Ow! My toe. I didn't scream. I did the past tense of scream. I scrimped. That's past tense but I scrimped as loud as I could. I bent that toe, broke that toe. Wow. I knew it was broken, but I called the doctor and I called the doctor and I said, hey, listen, if you break a toe, do I have to go to the doctor? And she said, well, I tell you what, if you were in the 1800s, maybe you just splint that thing up and just go on back to work. But the reality of it was I had to go to the doctor and I had to get a splint that was from the medical doctor. Okay, what I didn't know is that when you break a bone at the point of the break, it grows back stronger. Listen at this. At the point of the break, where I broke that bone, it grew back, it fused back stronger. Many of us are trying to avoid the break. We're trying to avoid the things that's happening in our lives. But listen, don't avoid it. Don't try to run from life. Life is to be lived. You're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to break. You're going to lose a job, a relationship. They are going to lay you off from that job. But in the interim, what's happening is that it's strengthening an area of your life that needed to be strengthened. You will be able to tell others. As a matter of fact, you become a trusted advisor. You're not going to tell people what you think. You're going to tell them what you know. And that comes from practical experience, not theory. See, there are two learnings, Sakoni. There's two learning. There's theory and there's practical application. There's theory and there's practical application. A theory is what we learned in school. You may have learned it from a teacher or from a professor. Then you may have learned the theory of how to run a business, the theory of how to run, how to be in a successful relationship, a successful marriage. That's theory. But baby, when the rubber meets the road, after being married for 5 years, after being married for 10 years, after being married for 20 years, and God help you 30 or 40 years, you know now from experience what it's like. And so at the point of the break, it's going to make you stronger. And it's going to strengthen you to be able to go out and help other people. Now, we talked about a fall, a literal physical fall. But ladies and gentlemen, if I say nothing else, I say this, is that life is going to throw you some curveballs. Life is going to throw you some things that you don't expect. And if 2020, 19 and 20 and 21 hasn't shown you anything, you have to be prepared for the unexpected. You have to be, I don't know, many of you might remember this, but we were, a few weeks ago, we were collecting toilet paper. Excuse my, for saying it that way. But who would have thought that we were stockpiling Charmin? Who would have thought that we were hoarding and fighting over tissue paper? And the reality of it is that is being prepared for the unexpected. There's some things that's going to show up in life that are going to literally rock the foundation of who you think you are. But what you have to do, as my mom told me, she said, son, and with her Southern accent, she said, son, you got to have some iron in your spine. You got to have some iron in your spine, and you have to have some springs in your hinder parts. Iron in your spine means that you stand up straight with your shoulders squared and your chin held high, and you looking up, not down, you're looking up. And the springs in your hinder parts, the springs in your hinder parts simply mean that when you fall, you don't have the luxury of time to wallow in your fall. You have to get up. You have to get back up and stand on your feet. So, Cody, I want to turn it back over to you here in just a second. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to let everybody know this is one of the reasons why I had to have Wendell on the show. Because as you can tell, he's not talking about something that he read in the book, but something that he's lived through himself. And I am just I'm so excited because I know that Wendell is a type of individual that can, as a friend of mine once said about me, I say about Wendell, he can put the hay where the horse can get it. Okay. He can put it on a place and on a platform to where you can truly understand. And the information that he shared today was valuable. And I'm telling you something that you definitely want to take note, take heed, and even share yourself. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that, Wendell Slight Edge Consulting, where their pledge is to help you gain the slight edge. And if you want to get in contact with Wendell, he's going to give you the easiest way for you to reach him and reach out to him so you can get some more valuable information. Wendell, tell people how they can reach out to you.
Thank you, Saucony. I appreciate that. I've never heard that saying, put the hay where the horse can reach it. And I appreciate that. I mean, that I break it down that even a baby can understand, and that's the important thing. The easiest way, go to social media. Go to Facebook and look up Wendell Graham. Now, there's a judge out there by the name of Wendell Graham, but I'm not him. I'm Wendell Graham with Slight Edge Consulting, Advantage Consulting. You will see my profile picture. Send me a friend request. Let's reach out. Let's stay connected and in contact with each other. But go to social media under Wendell Graham, and I'm going to tell you the quickest, shortest, easiest way is send me a friend request, and we'll stay in touch that way. And I think that's about the quickest way, Saucony.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, we are so glad that you were able to make it and actually share that information with us today. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
The wait is finally over for Saucony's most anticipated book of the year, Leadership That Lasts, passing on 10 solid principles to ensure an enduring legacy. Powerful, effective, impactful, helpful, dynamic, phenomenal, transformative, life-changing. Available now in Amazon. Order yours today. The wait is finally over for Saucony's most anticipated book of the year, Leadership That Lasts, passing on 10 solid principles to ensure an enduring legacy. Powerful, effective, impactful, helpful, dynamic, phenomenal, transformative, life-changing. Available now in Amazon. Order yours today.